want to keep you. I do want to keep you, actually. Would you like to get a coffee when you're not working? I know that's crazy, we just met, but...
Maybe.
Can I get your WhatsApp?
Yeah.
All right. Good day, gentlemen. James Marshall here. Now, in today's video, we're going to be doing some infield analysis of some footage I took the other day, chasing ladies around the streets, as I do. But I want to zero in on a specific area of this today, which is the question, when should you leave? Right? So what is the balance between persistence and becoming a creep? Because this is an important question, because you don't want to freak girls out on the street, you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable and call the cops on you. And at the same time, you don't want to immediately explode out of there and run away the moment that there's any form of resistance or friction. So there is a fine line, and it's important to understand what is the difference. So today I'll show you some clips of me getting brutally rejected in field. Having girls say no, but in a variety of ways. And you'll see how I push it a little bit, or I test to see if the no really is a no, and usually it is, but it's important to be able to stick in a little bit longer, to be able to try and handle the objections, because often, for example, you say hello to a girl and she says, oh, look, I'm in a rush, and you say, do you mind if I walk with you? Many times she will say yes, and if she says no, then you just say, have a nice day. So let's check out some clips and we'll do some analysis. Hello.
Hi.
You have a very sexy bounce in your walk.
Thank you.
Are you listening to something funky? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, are you okay?
Yeah.
You're backing away, it's all right. Off you go. All right, so in this one, I do a good stop. The girl stops right away. I give her a little compliment and she says thanks. And then I see that she's starting to literally creep backwards. And I can read in this situation that this girl is very uncomfortable. And so this is the kind of situation where there's no point in trying to push it. And I even ask her, are you all right? And then I can see you literally walking away like I'm a dangerous animal, which I kind of am. Not really, I'm pretty harmless. And so I make the decision to end it. I'm just like, all right, better to release pressure and make this girl not feel so uncomfortable. So I step out of the way and say, off you go. So situations like that where a girl is looking scared, is physically moving away from you, you can see her eyes darting from side to side trying to find an escape, then be a gentleman and just pull the pressure off it and just say, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, and have a nice day, and let it go. Hi.
Hi.
You got a lovely bounce in your step.
Thank you.
What are you listening to?
French rap.
French rap. Okay, that sounds sexy.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Don't worry, I'm actually very nice. See ya. All right, so this one, run up. Notice that she's bopping down the street. Listen to French rap, which I'm sure is very cool and much better than German rap. Now, you can probably hear instantly from her tonality that she's not interested immediately, right? Like, hi, she's like, hi. And then I give her a compliment. She's like, thank you, in that kind of dismissive way. But I'm still, she's walking with me. I'm still going for it. So I go to ask her a question. She literally changes directions and says bye. Now, and I just let her know, yes, I'm actually quite nice. There's nothing to worry about here. But there would be a 0 point in me then turning and chasing her, because then I'd be following her, right? So if a girl says goodbye and changes directions, let her go. Excuse me. Hello.
Hi.
I just saw you from back there and I thought you looked incredible.
Thank you.
And so here I am to introduce myself.
Okay. Sorry, I don't care. So.
You don't care.
Sorry.
You don't care about it in general, or you just don't care about handsome, interesting strangers coming into your life?
I have a boyfriend. I work all day from 5 a.m.
You are full from 5 a.m.
So, yeah.
Busy lady. All right, I hope he looks after you.
Thank you.
I hope he does look after you. He does? Ah, bye. All right, girl wearing awesome high-waisted jeans with a lovely haunch. Stop. Compliment. Good stop. Now, I tell her that I'm here to introduce myself, and she literally says, I don't care. Now, I don't think you can see it from this angle, but basically she leaned in, touched my arm, and said, I don't care, and laughed. Now, of course, that's a fairly clear rejection, but because she's got a good vibe, she's smiling, she's laughing, she actually touched me on the arm. Felt nice. I'm like, well, this is one of those situations where I may as well play with it, right? Because it's not a hard no. She's not scared. She's just saying she doesn't care and she's going to keep going. So then I'm a bit cheeky about it and say, well, hang on, you don't care about life in general? Are you a nihilist? I didn't say that. I should have. Or you're not sure about meeting a lovely, cool, whatever I said about myself. Then she comes up with the real objection or the real reason why, which is that she has a boyfriend, she works all the time and so on. Okay, fair enough. So in that situation, now I have not pushed it, but I've tried to handle the objection. And I see that it's for real, like she's friendly, she's smiley, but she's spoken for. And so once again, you let her go. Excuse me, hello, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm very good. I just saw you looked incredible, very striking.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I thought I'd say hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. I'm on my way home.
Can I walk with you for 2 minutes?
I'm actually meeting my boyfriend, so.
All right, well, I better not then. All right, well, anyway, I'm James. Are you German?
Yes.
Okay. Are you studying here or something? Or?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, have a lovely day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
In this situation, because I'm approaching a girl in a kind of empty space so she can hear my footsteps as I'm coming behind her, I actually call out just before I come into her periphery. So that's something to keep in mind, that if it's a busy street, doesn't really matter because she can't, she's not that aware that there's people everywhere. But if she's kind of alone or in a, confined space or walking down a little street or something, and you have to run to catch up to her, when you're within earshot, it's better to just say, excuse me. And you notice I actually raise my tonality to sound a bit like, I'm just a boy. And I'm very aware of that because I know my voice can be, excuse me, me and my mates are down the pub and it was just fucking shandies with the boys. And I can modulate my voice as I need to. But when I want to make a woman feel comfortable and take the pressure off her, then I actually do make my voice a little bit higher. So, excuse me, madam, I just saw you from there. And then I shift back down into a good Aussie bloke who's masculine. Play with it. Anyway, you can see I give her the compliment and then I put my hand out to introduce myself and she doesn't go for it. And then she starts to make her excuse. Now, I can read that this is probably not going to work, but knowing the rules of day game, which is that if a girl says she has to go, which is very common because people got to go, they're going places, then you say, do you mind if I walk with you for a minute? And some people you should never say, do you mind or can I, because then it's like beta and I'm giving her the power. I disagree. It's more to do with the tonality and the delivery that is what is going to make a woman think that you're supplicating or not. So just politely and clearly saying, do you mind if I walk with you for a minute? Again, countless times I have seen this in students and done it myself where the girl's like, I'm in a bit of a rush. Do you mind if I walk with you? And she goes, okay. And then you bought yourself a couple of minutes. But in this case, she's like, well, actually, I'm going to go and see my boyfriend and so on. And then, okay, so then I go, I better not. Now, I don't just leave immediately. I could have, for sure. But it's a good general rule, especially as a beginner, to, if there's any kind of vibe at all, to stick into the interaction just a little bit longer, just one or two questions afterwards when it's clear that she's got a boyfriend and nothing's going to happen, because it's just good conditioning for you to not be scared of a woman having a boyfriend. The number of times I've seen, especially guys in the first couple of days of workshop, the girl says, I've got a boyfriend, and he goes, oh, I'm so sorry, or oh, tell him he's a lucky guy. They do some kind of weird reaction to it. Hot girls have boyfriends a lot of the time. It's not a big deal. They get approached by guys all the time. The boyfriend knows that. It's just the reality of life, and there's nothing to be scared of or apologetic about. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just you went and tried to talk to a girl and she has a boyfriend, in which case, okay, cool, no worries. So that's the end of the seduction. And then I go, well, let's at least shake hands and ask her a question or two. And then I decide to leave. This is good for your mindsets. It's not going to make her want to have sex with me, but it's specifically so that you don't slink away from interactions, right? If a girl gives you any kind of rejection, harsh, soft, friendly, whatever it is, you want to walk away like you're in an action movie and you turn away and shit blows up behind you. Yeah, you want to choose when to enter and choose when to exit your interactions, and do it with your head held high with pride, because then you're conditioning yourself that this is a good and masculine thing for you to do, as opposed to, I went and did this thing, she said no, and I was like, oh, now I feel weird and creepy, and I better scurry away because she already has a boyfriend. Now, Show yourself some respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Excuse me, madam. Hello.
Hi.
I saw you look so elegant and dreamy
Thank you.
that I thought I'd better say hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Are you Ukrainian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Why?
You dress not like a Hungarian, and you have more Slavic features.
Maybe.
And considering the geopolitical situation, you probably weren't Russian, which I'm glad about. So yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is.
I'm James.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, you too. Do you mind if I walk with you for a couple of minutes? I'm not going to follow you forever.
I'm going to see my friends, so yeah.
30 seconds we can do? Cool. How long have you been here? Okay, so I open her and then decide to keep walking with the girl. Now, you don't always need to jump in front of a woman and get her to stop dead in her tracks in order to have an interaction. Strolling along with a woman is totally a thing. Especially in a situation like this, you can see it's a tight sidewalk and there's cars on the other side and there's people coming from the front. So if I was to like muscle in and get around the front and stop her, it's going to cause kind of a traffic jam and it's probably going to make things awkward. So especially when you're in a tight or a crowded location, then it's totally fine to walk along. It's preferable to walk along with a girl. All right, so I make a guess about her nationality. I'm correct. And then I ask if I can walk with her. I mean, I already am, but it's polite to now check in and say, is that all right? Now, she gives what I would call a soft objection. She says, well, I'm just going to go and meet my friend. Right, well, I'm already walking in that direction. So I go, okay, well, all right, 30 seconds. She doesn't say yes and she doesn't say no. So I just go, okay, cool. And then I continue on from there. How long have you been in Hungary?
Just 8 months.
Uh-huh.
I study here.
Right. Do you prefer it than home? Do you prefer it here or back in Ukraine?
I like Hungary, but I don't think it will be like future home for me.
Yeah.
So maybe I can change it, but I'm not sure. It's hard to pronounce
Hard to predict.
and how to predict the future. So.
It's impossible to predict the future, indeed. Yeah, I'm Australian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And do you live here?
Yeah, I live here half the time and half the time in Portugal.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I have an olive farm in Portugal, and then I come here because my team is here, so I come here for work. Yeah.
I went Hungary.
Sorry?
Why Hungary?
I mean, I had a Hungarian grandmother. Originally, I came here to just kind of check it out, and it worked because it's central for Europe, and I travel a lot.
I see.
Yeah, just worked out that way. Yeah, it's cool. And what are you studying?
I study media and communication.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, like international communications, more about it. So we have subjects more like about TV, media, internet, here, and something like that.
Like kind of digital marketing stuff?
Like digital marketing.
I see.
It's close.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I do a lot of digital marketing too. Yeah. Indeed I do, and I'm doing it right now. Enjoying the digital marketing, gentlemen? All right, well, I won't follow you any longer, but would you like to get a coffee sometime?
I'm not sure. Sorry.
Well, do you want me to get your WhatsApp? I'll text you if you decide you want to. I'm not going to hassle you. Okay, so I say I'm not going to continue to follow you forever, which is the right thing to do when you want to wrap up this walking type of conversation. Would you like to hang out sometime? She says, I'm not sure, sorry. Right now, that's basically a no, but she just said, I'm not sure. So what I do is I just give her the offer, which is that we can just exchange numbers and, we'll see how it goes. Because I hear this on the mics and see it in interactions often, where a girl gives a maybe, right? The guy says, do you want to hang out? And she's like, I'm not sure. Or, basically, I'm not sure. Let's just assume an I'm not sure is a, see if you can solve this problem, gentlemen. So that's where I remove the pressure off the woman. I acknowledge it. So what I'm saying is, I'll get your number, but I'm not going to hassle you, right? Or why don't I get your contacts? I'll text you once if you decide you want to meet up. Cool. If not, no problem, right? Because often that can be a thing that'll shift her from like, maybe to maybe no to a like, okay, why not? Because what's the concern of a woman giving her contact to a stranger on the street? Is that he's going to blow up her phone. He's going to hassle her. She's going to have to change her phone number because he's going to text her, what are you up to? Hi, hey, how are you? And I've seen that on girls' texts before. They show me like a guy's just like sent 80 texts over a week. And then they start getting passive aggressive and then aggressive and like, well, fuck you, bitch. And, well, yeah, your loss. And she's just like, dude, whatever. So I'm letting her know that I'm just going to text you once, because it's true. If I text a girl and she doesn't text back, then I'm just like, all right, on with your life, my lady. So in this way, you can release the pressure and it's more likely to work.
I think no. So I have a situationship. I have a future boyfriend. So
Are you sure it's going to be a future boyfriend if it's a situationship?
no, I'm sure.
And now she starts to explain that she has a situationship and a future boyfriend. Now, when a girl says, I have a boyfriend, or, I'm married, or I'm going to go and see my boyfriend now, personally, I don't push it for a couple of reasons. If they got a good relationship, who am I to come in and fuck it up to be like her one night stand cowboy? Like, I don't want to do that. I did that kind of thing back when I was a young, reckless man, but, it's like people have relationships. I respect that. So if it's that kind of hard, no. But in the situation where a girl says, I'm sort of seeing somebody or I have a situationship, then I feel like there might be a little bit of wriggle room. So I start to have a little bit of a play with it. That's where I'm challenging her. Okay, are you sure it's definitely going to be a future boyfriend if it's just a situationship? Okay, because there might be some room to maneuver. Is he sure?
We have like a problem in distance. So
I see.
The main problem.
Long distance
Long
sucks.
distance, yeah, sure.
But are you going to find a way to make it short distance?
No, I would like to see him here just in 6 months. So
6 months from now?
6 months, yeah.
You're going to be celibate for 6 months?
Yeah. I will wait for him.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
really.
Okay. Well, if you change your mind, let's stay on Instagram. You can text me in 3 months when you're like, all right, fuck it, that's it. And now the plot thickens. I find out that this lady is going to be waiting 6 months for this man. This guy must be fucking cool. I thought about that afterwards. I'm like, if a girl that hot is waiting for a guy for 6 months, then this guy is a baller, and I want to meet him and learn something from him. But anyway, so again, I'm like, okay, hang on a minute. I don't know. Maybe for some people, waiting 6 months for sex is okay, but for me, it's not okay. I can't fathom that. So I'm, again, now playfully pushing on this a little bit. All right, so you're going to be waiting 6 months, you're going to be celibate, blah, blah, blah. All right, well, now I downgrade the offer from like, let's go and meet and have coffee to, all right, let's stay in touch on Instagram. And then I make a hilarious joke about how after 3 months she's going to crack. So this is the type of playful persistence which is good, right? She still hasn't given really hard no's. She's still being playful and she's still chatting with me. So, and I'm not being pushy, I'm being playful. And this is the kind of thing where a bit of persistence might work. Which, does it? No.
I think so, no.
Take it easy. Have a good day.
Nice to meet you too.
Good luck with the long distance.
Thank
Bye.
you so much. Bye.
So as soon as she says, I think no, right, now I know that she's, I've pulled out all my tricks. I've tried all the things that I can do. I've been charming and funny and the best guy in the world. And yet, whoever Mr. Wait for this dick for 6 months has beaten me. So as soon as she says that, I think no, then I immediately go, all right, nice to meet you. Good luck with that 6 months of masturbation that you have ahead of you. And then I let her go. Hello.
Hi.
How are you? You look amazing.
Thank
You're
you.
a picture of spring.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
I'm waiting for my girlfriend.
Are you German?
No, I'm Hungarian.
Oh, okay, cool. I just wasn't sure about the accent. Because you don't have the very strong Hungarian accent.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, sure, thanks. Not that there's anything wrong with a Hungarian accent. Yeah, what's your name? I'm James, how do you do? Yeah, amazing eyes you have.
Thank you.
You don't have like contact lenses in or anything,
I do.
but they're not coloured.
No.
So that's real.
Yeah.
Well done to your mother and your father. And what are you doing in life?
I'm a student.
At the university down there?
Yeah.
So law or economics or something?
What?
Law or economics or?
No.
Do you intend to be a lawyer? A corrupt one?
No.
Oh. Isn't that difficult to be a straight lawyer in Hungary?
We'll see. I don't know yet.
You'll see if you can keep your integrity.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. I hope so.
Thanks.
We need some good ones in the world. Yeah. I'm Australian. Yeah, but I live here.
Where?
I live here.
And how long?
On and off about 8 years. Yeah. So yeah, I run an online business and yeah, this is my place.
My girlfriend is here, so
Then you must leave.
yeah.
All right, have a good day. Take it easy.
too.
Bye. So, in this situation, I made a mistake. We had a chat, everything's going fine. I mean, I don't know if she's got a boyfriend, I don't know if she's interested. You don't know until you ask. And then when she said her girlfriend has arrived, the correct thing to do in that moment is to say, all right, well, I guess you have to go, but would you like to get a tea with me, or would you like to, can I take you out sometime when you're not busy? And then she would have said yes or no. So this is a situation where I made the rookie error of going, oh, well, the friend's here, so better leave, right? So bad dating coach James did it wrong, and maybe it lost the love of my life. I don't know. You see this a lot, and I see this a lot with students in field, is, you know, guys having a chat, things are going fine, and then something changes in the environment. A friend turns up, or the bus is coming, or she just says, you know, I'm busy and I have to go. And the moment the girl says that she has to leave for whatever reason, the guy just says, oh, I'm sorry, I have to go, like I just did there. Always, if you like the girl and the vibe is okay or good or awesome, go for the close. So she says, you know, oh, my phone's ringing, I've just got to take the call. Hang on, just call him back in a second. Can I grab your number before you blah, blah, blah? She says, look, I've got to go, or my train's coming now. All right, I know this is crazy, we just met. Why don't we exchange details? We can continue this conversation later. And I've seen that work countless times. You may not think that you have enough rapport because you feel like you didn't have enough time to complete the interaction. But often the very action of the man taking action is the thing that changes her mind, right? The fact that the guy's going for it, she suddenly registers this as not just a guy who's having a pleasant chat, but this is a guy who means it. This is a trigger puller. And often can be a kind of why not girl, where a charming stranger has come and had a shot, and then she had to leave because the taxi's arrived, and he just says, hang on, just give me a number, and then she says yes. So you'd be surprised how often that works. And speaking of which, excuse me, I can see you're about to ride away, but you look lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's your name? Hi, I'm James. How are you? Keeping fit?
Fine. Yeah. Working.
All right. Okay. Well, not working. Having a day off. Chilling. Yeah. Well, I don't want to keep you. I do want to keep you, actually. Would you like to get a coffee when you're not working? I know that's crazy. We just met. But
Maybe.
can I get your WhatsApp?
Yeah.
All right. Is it like this?
With 1 hour.
Too many hours. You wanna write your number? I'm James. All right, take it easy. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
And finally, you see here, this is a good example of a situation where I have very little time because there's a bicycle courier lady who is busy and going to work. So we don't have time to sit down and have a chat because she's literally on a bicycle. So I just go for balls out close with a cheeky flirt, which is I don't want to keep you. I kind of do want to keep you. And then I ask her out. And she says maybe. And I said, all right, do you have WhatsApp? And she says yes. All right, so for a lot of guys, they would have heard the maybe and gone, oh, okay, bye. But the way she looked at me and the fact that I'm going for it, the maybe, I say, all right, give me a number, and then I get it. All right, so keep that in mind. And this is a good example of situations which most guys wouldn't see as possible. Right? I can see there's a girl on a bicycle. Most guys would be like, there's a girl on a bike, can't talk to her. Yeah, you can if she's not riding at that particular moment. That's why I kind of shout at her or say, excuse me, at the beginning, because I can see she's literally about to take the first pedal and I want to stop her before she starts riding. So keep an eye out for those kinds of things. The girl's coming down the escalator and you're going up the escalator. You're like, I can't approach you. You could say, hey, excuse me, you're hot. Please wait for me down there and I'll come and talk to you. And don't jump over the escalator because you might damage yourself unless you're very good at parkour. A girl's she's just opening the door to a building and you're like, well, I can't do that because there's a door. Doors, like, how do you get through a door? You just go run up and you open the door. Hey, excuse me, I can see you're about to go into the courtroom. Before you do, right? Those are amazing moments actually because that's a movie moment. Who does that? Nobody. The guy that has the balls and the spontaneity to quickly grab a momentary opportunity, it's very likely that that's going to come across as very, very charming, bold, and certainly not planned and contrived, right? Because it just happened that this little micro window opened and you took it. That's the kind of guy that gets the action. And so there you have it. Today's video. Hopefully that explains the difference between a situation when you should just let the woman go. If you're making her feel uncomfortable, she gives you a hard no, she changes directions, she tells you she doesn't care. She says straight up, like very early on, that she has a boyfriend and she's not interested. Those are situations in which I just go, all right, madam, it's been lovely to speak with you and I shall let you go. And just let her go. Other situations where she's like, oh, I'm just going somewhere, and you say, well, do you mind if I walk with you for a minute? And then you find yourself going off on an interaction. Or she says that she's seeing somebody, or there's a situationship, or that she has a future ex-husband, future boyfriend. Then those are the situations where there's a bit of wriggle room. Look for expression, body language. You need to learn to be calibrated. Now, for anyone who's watched this video and is going to write in the comments, that's cringe, that's your problem, not mine. And we see this in almost every infill video I've ever put out. It's people like, this is so cringe. What the guys are really saying is, I can't handle the pressure of watching this. I know that I'm not cringe. I know I'm extraordinarily calibrated, and these rejections affect me basically zero, because I know that I'm not for everybody and everybody's not for me, and girls have boyfriends and life is life. And you got to go and shoot multiple shots in order to get what you want in life. And if you're so terrified of the uncomfortableness, the cringe of a stranger like saying no, or the inherent awkwardness that happens between two strangers when they first meet, then you will never get good at this. And I don't even know why you're watching the video, but it's because cringe kind of feels good. Well, if I can feed your cringe fetish, that's fine. But for the guys out there who want to be able to get through that, to be able to eat the cringe, to go through the inevitable hardships and ups and downs and multiple rejections that you get if you want to become good at day game, then you should come and train with me, because I'm the best in the biz. I've been doing this for 17 years. I know my shit. And I am teaching a series of workshops this year, like I have every year for the last 17 years. Budapest, sold out. First Lisbon workshop, sold out. We have a second workshop coming up in Lisbon in July. I can't remember the dates, but they'll be on screen, where I and Gareth Jones and Virag and a special guest coach will be running the streets of the beautiful capital of Portugal, chasing the lovely ladies, and teaching a small and select group of brave gentlemen the fine art and science of natural style seduction. So if you'd like to find out full details about that, you better get on it soon, because we are selling out fast this year. Click the link in the description. You can sign up for a free call with one of my consultants, chat about your situation, get a bit of free coaching, and we'll see if the workshop is the right fit for you and you're the right fit for us. And then I hope to see you on the first day of the workshop. If not, this is James Marshall signing out, and we'll see you in the next one.